Ooh,
Ooh.
ooh. That is literally the worst meme.
No, it's not. It's the best meme.
No, it's the best meme. I'm sorry. So, I don't know what I told you about the game. I know I told you it's called Control.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You told me
I
it was
haven't.
like, it was like
Go ahead.
I remember you telling me like it was SPC
SCP, the
SCP,
game.
like yeah.
Yeah.
But does it have anything to do with SCP?
No, it doesn't mention SCP at all. But the way it works, it sounds very much like SCP. And what I
Okay.
mean is, this is about a bureau, so it's like an official government body
Mm-hmm.
that's called the Federal Bureau of Control, FBC.
Okay.
And what they do, it's pretty much the same thing as the SCP Foundation does. It's to secure, contain, and protect
Uh-huh.
certain anomalies out there in the world.
Certain monsters or
Anomalies, let's
yeah.
call them, because not all of them are monsters, you know?
I guess not.
For example, the building where the bureau is located is called the Oldest House.
Okay.
And the building doesn't show itself to anyone unless it wants to be found.
What?
Yeah,
It
the building
has
shape shifts into itself and changes form. It is very, very weird.
what? Wait, but that's like, is that the bureau or?
Yeah, the building houses the bureau.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So if you want to really find the building, or you just have like a predisposition for it, you might be able to find it.
Wow. So you can't possibly like um
Stumble upon the building. You can, but
no,
it's
but
very rare.
yeah, but what I'm saying is like if you try to like make a to like invade the building or try to you couldn't because the building would not want to be
Yeah,
like
exactly.
okay. So it has free will.
So, yeah, kind of like that.
Interesting. Okay.
The main character is a girl, which is the new director. She comes here and finds the old director with a self-inflicted gunshot to the head. And
Okay.
she's the new director. She finds the building and she's the new director.
Okay, so I'm seeing some
Yeah,
tabs.
they give you the story of the game through these collectibles. I was
Okay.
trying to find one where they explain what to do in case of someone finding the building and not that they shouldn't find the building.
Okay, in case of an imposter or
No, just in case, someone finds the building.
oh, okay. I like how
Oh
this is
yeah.
actually very similar to FBI, like
Mm-hmm.
the insignia and everything.
They have a Latin thing in here, under here. It
Mm-hmm.
says Inventio Investigatio Imperium. I tried to actually find real life
Equivalent?
explanations
Oh,
for these symbols, like a key. There's a tower and a sword. The eagle. The pyramid is from the game, apparently.
okay, interesting.
But the secret, the key, I'm sure it has to do with secrets, and obviously the
Protect.
sword is for weaponizing whatever is inside of these. But you see how,
Oh,
like, this is a list of forbidden items that you can bring. There's your unauthorized weapons, pagers, laptops, anything smart. And
anything
then,
smart.
yeah, any object considered iconic representations of an archetypal concept. Rubber ducks, ketchup bottles, for example.
What?
There's a place, because I don't know. There's this place, which is like a mental landscape of several motels. Those roadside motels
Yeah.
that you usually see in
Uh-huh.
detective stories.
Yes.
And it's a place where all doors lead to different places.
Holy crap, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But what does
To
that
this
have
point,
what does that have to do with the
it's a
our
represent. That place is a representation of the motel. I don't know what implications does it have. I still didn't find like
What the
these
hell?
are the SCPs. These are the objects of power. They're the SCPs in here. So,
Okay.
for example, this is a floppy disk from
Uh-huh.
the Soviet era containing nuclear launch codes. And what this
Ooh.
does basically is gives you the ability to dash. We.
What does that have anything to do?
I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Again, for example, this weapon.
Mm-hmm. Service
This is
weapon.
you only have one weapon in the entire game, but the thing about the weapon is she shapeshifts,
Whoa.
and you never run out of
That's...
bullets because it recharges itself when you're not firing.
So this is like... This is some kind of like, I wouldn't say AR, but it's like... It's not really real, per se. Or is it like some, like, do they have some, equipment that can, change reality itself?
Well, the building, as I said, these I would like to show you what this looks like before it's like this. Um, there's a this these walls are all I don't know how to explain it. Looks like you're watching a movie, like
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
and all the walls are shifting.
Oh, damn, okay.
Yeah,
That's some weird stuff.
but I feel that the game looks good. It looks good, but
But
at the
is it
same
like,
time,
is it good though?
yeah, it appears so far I'm enjoying it, but it appears to be like it grabs a lot of things from other games.
Mm-hmm.
For example, you find the objects of power, or you are the director, as I said,
Okay.
but the board of directors, the people that make the decisions, they can only be talked to via like an astral plane. It feels like those moments in Assassin's Creed where you're in the
Oh
Animus
yeah, in
and
the
you have to
Animus.
fight. Yeah, it's all white, you know.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm. It
When it's
looks like
when
that.
like the world is like loading and you see like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
polygons in front of you. Yeah.
yeah. But you get to play in that space as well. That's what I mean. You get to play there as well, and you
Yeah.
have to solve some puzzles regarding your new abilities.
Uh huh.
And you have telekinesis too. Like
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I already noticed the
you can pretty
telekinesis.
much break everything. Also, if you couldn't tell yet,
That's very cool.
the game.
I like games where you can break shit.
Yeah. So far, it appears to be a fun game.
But how far
With a
are
story.
you into it?
Not very far. It has dialogue like Fallout, like dialogue options and stuff.
Uh huh.
There's several different types of enemies. There's all different sorts of crazy shit. There's some with shields. There's some enemies that fly. And there's missions. As I said, it grabs a lot of tropes from other video games, other first person shooters,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of puts them all together
It's interesting.
in a way. And yeah, it combines them with SCP.
What's very weird is that I don't think I've like ever seen a trailer or anything
For this
about
one.
this game. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time,
But
it seems to be trending everywhere.
but like I've never seen it. Is this like that?
This looks AAA because
Yeah, it is.
it has actors, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
This person is a real person. This actress is a real person. And
Uh,
you get to see her face, and sometimes there's
okay.
like example.
Can't.
I can talk. This outline gets me to talk to either the board or to previous directors, you know, from beyond. It's a
From
phone line to
what?
the dead. Yes,
Jesus.
and there's
That's
movies.
so
This
weird.
is the actual person, the actual actor in here.
That guy kind of looks like the guy from Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah,
Honestly,
it's not him. I
but
don't
it
think it has an actual.
kind of looks like him.
Yeah, and this is the board.
Thing is, you can't
See how
know for sure.
look how they talk to me. You are reading this, but you are not hearing this. All you hear is like
Okay, so basically
gibberish.
it's kind of like
They're talking to my brain.
it's like telekinesis. Okay, interesting.
And at the same time, there's some words that I don't know what they are saying. You see
The
these have a slash.
spread transmission
Mhm.
slash speakers to corrupt slash chaos. Oh, it's like words that have multiple meanings.
I guess so.
Kind of.
It's all very cryptic. and so far I'm liking it because of that.
Interesting.
It's
Um,
not giving, it's not spoon feeding me information. But I don't know at which point I can call this in the horror game because it looks more action oriented.
Action. Yeah, yeah. Um, that is yeah, that's a thing that I always kind of critique horror games with is that yeah, I remember telling you this, like that I think that once a horror game gives you a gun and some way to like kill the monster, it starts becoming more of an action game. Like it's no longer really a true horror because horror like it implies that you're running away or hiding from something or that there's a danger that's beyond your control.
Unsurmountable. But
Yeah.
not all horror is like that. I mean,
I mean, I would say, I mean, yeah, like if you're looking, for example, Psycho.
the horror that we like, the psychological type, it could
Okay,
be
I guess,
unsurmountable horror, but it could be just, you know, personal trauma.
yes, but that's something that you can't really attack directly. Like you can't face it.
Make a game about it? Is that what you mean?
No, no, I mean like if you were to make either a game or a movie or whatever, to have like a thing that actually is, like you said, like trauma, for example, because that is that is horror too. It's just not like immediate. It's like something that's inside of you, I guess. You can't really make an action game if your objective is to explore the horror of trauma. You can't really make an action game based on that. Is what I'm saying. Like it's
Also true.
if you do make an
I
action
agree
game,
with
it's
you
no
there.
longer about the trauma. It's more about the action and the guns and the whatever. So yeah, so far this kind of looks action. It reminds me of the Matrix in some ways. Except it has no bullet time and stuff.
So far, it also has some RPG elements. I'm getting like quests out of nowhere, and I have missions to complete and
hmm
upgrades and a skill tree.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It grabs a lot of stuff from a lot of different places. But the point I wanted to nail is that it feels like SCP the game, and this could be, you
I
know,
guess.
not about a specific SCP, but more
What is
SCP in general.
yeah, what is containment breach about? Like I know it's about containment breach obviously, but
Containment Breach is about a single SCP.
which one? I mean, or
Uh,
is that a spoiler?
it's the one that I think we're talking about the same one. It's the one that if you look at it, it doesn't move, but when you're not looking or when you blink, it comes after you and tries
So
to
it's
kill you.
basically Weeping Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Uh and I'm assuming that because you mentioned that SCP, I mean, as far as I know SCP is a collective horror,
Yeah,
like it's
they are collective
collective
works.
writing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's basically
It belongs to no one.
yeah, it's basically like they grabbed all the creepypasta, or not all of them, but some creepypastas that were like
Some is fresh, some is inspired by literal folklore.
mm-hmm,
Others,
or
yeah.
completely new, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I like creepypastas, and actually I wanted to do something with this podcast as well, which was I wanted us to like before each of these like the second episode we get we like gather some creepypastas or some horror stories or something that hopefully the other person hasn't heard of.
I don't spend a lot of time reading creepypasta.
Okay.
I used to do it way more when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
but we could like, I mean, it could be like
Not a kid, but
the
younger,
day
let's say.
the day before or in the same day. I don't know, but like some because I want to like do sort of like a contest of like
Mm.
seeing who can scare the other person the most or something like that. I mean, I know that that's kind of relative, but or give like a rating to the other person, the story the other person is reading, kind
I
of like
see.
how scary it actually is. Like we could do that. Like I feel like that would be interesting because I've never really done that. But yeah, there's some creepypasta. There's a lot of creepypastas, and there's some interesting ones that are kind of unknown. And I guess it's kind of a way for us to also kind of
Promote them.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. When I was at your house, we watched Alien and
Oh,
Aliens.
Alien. Yeah, we do. Alien and Aliens. Yes.
We watched those two movies back to back.
For the first time for you, you
For
are
the
now an Alien nerd.
I guess. I mean, nerd. I wouldn't consider nerd. I mean, if you want to call me a nerd, then I guess. But I'm really you're the alien
It's
nerd.
just the start. It's just the start.
I guess it's the start. But okay. I was actually surprised because I mean,
Wow. I don't know if I should be happy or offended.
why offended? What I'm saying
Because
is
I
like
told you that that the movie is amazing, and you're like, I was surprised that the movie was so good.
no. What I'm saying is not that it was good. Of course, I knew that it was going to be good because it was like a classic, and I everybody was talked about Alien. But I was actually surprised the way how the movie actually was, how it kind of played out, because I was expecting there to be like honestly, I don't really know what I was expecting because like I kind of saw, it's when a movie is like more than 10 years old, it's kind of hard to not, find jokes or some kind of spoilers for some things.
Yeah.
And of course, I knew some things, but the thing is, there are so many Alien movies that I did not know which scenes were from which movies.
Uh-huh.
And because I did not watch any of those movies, basically it was as if I knew nothing about the Alien franchise. Because I only knew like very very
You know
like
the
vague.
memes.
Yeah, like I knew the memes, I knew very vague things, but I didn't really know any specifics. So I knew that, for example, the guy was gonna, it was gonna burst out of his
Come
chest. I
out of
already
his
knew that
chest, yeah.
because that's like
You
that.
knew that because you know that they're called chest bursters.
Exactly, and I knew they was called facehugger even before
Mm-hmm.
they even called it facehugger. They didn't call it like that. They didn't even say anything. They didn't. They only called them xenomorphs in the second movie.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't even mention. I don't think they even mentioned facehuggers. Do they even actually mention that in any of the movies, or is
They
that
do.
just
I think
okay?
so.
Because it
I'm not really sure now.
could have just been a technical term or a nickname. I don't know. The internet finds
Perhaps.
some.
I'm not
I have
sure.
no idea. But
No, I'm not sure, and
yeah,
I don't wanna be wrong.
yeah. What I was basically because I already knew that the alien was like a killing machine, but I actually had no idea that the alien. You actually mentioned this to me, like in the movies. It was, I don't think it was mentioned, but I didn't actually know that the alien um it grabs some features from the host.
Uh-huh.
I had no idea. Like I really I didn't. I'm not sure if I forgot that, but
Yeah, it becomes evident in the one that we didn't see, which is Alien Cubed.
okay.
Because there's actually one dog in the pod that they escaped. A
Oh yeah,
facehugger or an embryo. A facehugger goes in there,
and you
and
get dog
it
alien.
attaches itself to a dog, and you get the dog alien. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's the evidence that they actually bring. Yeah. But it is interesting, like the way that the movie is made. It's interesting because you don't really know if you were watching the movie for the first time, you really did not know. I mean, of course, I knew that Ripley would survive because I knew the other movies. But if that was the first movie that I was watching and I had no idea, and the other movies were not even made yet, like if I was like in the theaters in the 70 in the the end of the 70s and I watched that, I wouldn't really be sure which character was the main character. I mean, it's kind of at first it's kind of like
Uh-huh.
not very clear, which is very interesting because that gives you, because in a horror movie, especially a slasher movie, because I would consider Alien to be a slasher movie, kind of. It is mostly, it
No,
follows, I guess, kind of
I
this.
can't. I can't say that.
But it follows the structure. Like in terms of movie structure, it's kind of like a slasher movie
Yeah,
because
you have the
it
final
has
girl as well.
victims.
I
Yeah,
get
it
it,
has
but
victims. It
I
takes.
can put it there because it's
I know because there's more things to it than just slasher.
yeah.
I know because there's an entire lore and there's
No, it's not even the
psychological.
lore. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street also has lore. My point is,
Why would you consider it not
um,
slasher?
I don't know. It's much because it has elements of body horror.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is
It
true.
has elements of psychological horror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it has elements of slasher horror, of course.
I guess you could consider it like you know.
A masterpiece. That's what I'm going to call it.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, I really liked the movie. It was really good.
But you also agree that the first one was much better than the second one.
I do actually. I mean, because the second one with
Again,
okay,
you
it's
put guns
not
on people's hands.
it's not James Cameron, okay? Because James Cameron, he proved that he can do a good sequel better than the original with Terminator. At least I think it was James Cameron that invented
It's
the
the second one. He made the
second one.
second movie.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but yeah, James Cameron with this movie with Aliens. I don't know if it's just because of all the movies that he made after that. Because I mean this was before Titanic. I think this was before
Yeah, of
Avatar.
course. You as well,
I saw a lot
obviously.
of Avatar elements in it, and that kind of took me away from it. But that's because
Like what?
like the ship designs, I feel like they were very similar to the ship designs that used in Avatar. I think
But the ship design.
the ship design, yeah.
Again, that's something from the first movie. Oh, you meant
No,
from
no,
Aliens? Okay,
I mean
the
Aliens.
actual. I know what you mean
Yeah,
now.
I'm not talking about
I know
the
what you mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. The transport.
yeah. Honestly I thought that was kind of very. I know that 57 years had passed, but I kind of missed that original design of the what was the ship called? I forgot.
Mm,
The
the
transporter,
Nostromo.
the
Ah,
Nostromo.
no,
Yeah,
that's the tow. The yeah, that's like a mining towing transport material, not people. But yeah, the original one is the Nostromo.
yeah. Cause
Is it the
that
Nostromo?
I I think yeah. Um, whatever, the original the original ship. I thought that was the
Yeah,
design that they used. I mean, because it was like I know
it
that
was
this
weird.
I know that this happened like this movie was made like how many years after the first one? It was like
Not a lot.
5 years
The first one
maybe.
is from '79. The second one is also obviously from the '80s, but I'm not really sure
Let's
when.
say like around 5 years, whatever. So yeah, the technology hadn't advanced a lot, but they did. I think it was more CGI than as far as I think from what I saw. I thought it was more CGI than practical effects. I think the first movie used a lot more practical effects. Um,
You mean okay, the second Alien? Okay. Hmm.
Maybe I'm not
Does it
sure.
have CGI? I mean,
I think it
I don't
does.
know. I think the aliens just have a lot more people in suits.
I'm not talking about the aliens. I'm
Uh,
talking about the actual ships, like the way that how they fly and stuff. I think, but
no,
maybe it's not. Maybe it's still props. I
those
don't
were
know.
practical effects. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. I guess. But yeah, but that's like a very specific. I'm like I feel like I'm nitpicking. That's a very specific thing. So it's not fair to judge a movie based on that. But
The
what I
Queen is all practical effects, and she's beautiful.
yeah. So I would say the Alien Queen is probably the best part of that movie. Um.
Yeah, I mean, the movie it was just to showcase the Queen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess.
It was supposed to be a showdown between two girls.
Uh-huh. I really liked the way how okay, the movie did some things well and some things less well, I guess.
We're
Um
still talking about aliens.
Aliens, yeah, yeah, we're talking about the
Because in my book, Alien is pretty much a perfect movie.
yeah, I did not honestly I can't remember a bad thing about that movie. I just I can't say anything. It just yeah, I didn't find a single flaw. Probably because I wasn't
Looking for them, you know.
looking for them, yeah.
But yeah, I've
But it
watched the movie
was
several times, and it is, if not perfect, very close to a perfect movie.
it is very very good, yes.
Technically, and
Because I mean the most I think the most awesome thing about the movie is really the not just the unique premise of it, not just the unique design and the fact that they actually grabbed, as far as I mean, I don't know. You probably should know this better than me, but
A Geiger purposely made the alien for the movie, if that's what you wanna ask.
yes,
I'm pretty sure of that.
but like yeah, but he basically not only did he make the alien, but I think he designed not just the aliens, but also
The
the
alien ships and everything
everything.
alien related.
Yeah,
Everything
everything alien. Yeah, exactly. But this was an example of a movie. As far again, this is me kind of guessing, but I think this is
Hmm.
how it happened. This is an example of a movie or a movie director, I guess, falling in love with the work
An
of a
artist.
designer, of an artist, and commissioning them to do, hey, I
Make
want you,
me the baddest monster you can
yeah,
think of.
make me the most alien, terrifying monster you can think of. And he did. And the movie just does it perfectly. Like the movie just implements that alien, and it's like it's flawless because it just blends so well with the universe. I mean, the sci-fi aspect, the fact they're in space and they go into an alien planet, and the atmosphere, the rocks. It blends in very well. Like you're watching, you can like pick any frame in the movie. Well, not every frame, but like you can see like the inside of the own ship, like their own mother ship,
But
and it
that's what I
has
didn't want to tell you in the movie. But do you remember? I'm sure you've seen things about Prometheus. Have you seen
uh
the engineers?
the
Those
and
big buff dudes that
the
appear.
white dudes that
Yeah,
are bald.
the bluish
Oh,
white.
bluish.
Yeah,
Not really. I just
because those are their ships. They're the ones. They're the ones that created
yeah, you're talking about the alien ship.
humans.
Yeah, the
No, that is a ship from the engineers. Those are the in Prometheus. The first scene that you watch is actually the engineers creating humans and life back basically
okay,
on the
okay.
planet,
Yeah. Yeah.
I should say. And they also created the aliens. And what you see in that ship, I didn't want to tell you this during the movie, but what you see in that ship is the engineer, one engineer.
Yeah, the corpse of an engineer.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
that got his chest bursted.
I wonder why.
Well, you have to see Prometheus for that.
Okay. But as I was saying, I was getting somewhere. I was talking about the how the designs, like
Mm-hmm.
the
And
design,
Geiger, you were talking about
yeah,
Geiger.
there's like, because usually what you have in movies, in Hollywood movies, is you have like a huge team of designers and artists and everything.
Making concept art for
Yeah, and it's
every
usually, yeah,
character.
it's usually like a collaborative.
Effort.
Yeah, exactly. There's not like one person, as far as I know. There's not one person that dominates like the entire design, and I feel like,
Unless there's like a lead and people just trust him, but yeah,
yeah, but I think Geiger clearly led most of the design work for this movie,
for sure.
and of course there's a bunch of clones now, but this was the first movie that did something like this. Like this is very much a unique, because as far as I know, it wasn't based on anything other than Geiger. Like,
No. I mean, Ridley Scott had an idea. He just liked the work of it, and he got inspired by his artwork. I
yeah.
think,
So
or
basically,
perhaps Geiger had already designed the alien in one of his biomechanical
yeah,
erotic things, and
yeah. Again, I don't
Ridley
know.
Scott just approached him and said, "Well, can I use this?"
Yeah, I'm not sure. Whatever it was,
Whatever it happened, yeah.
there was nothing like it, as far as I know.
Yeah, this was probably the first instance of a thing like
Yeah,
this, for
it was
sure.
the first time they did like this was a completely new creature that no one has had ever seen before. And it looked like nothing they've ever seen before. Like it wasn't based on anything
Truly alien.
exactly truly alien. And that's why this movie is so good, is because you have no idea what this is, what this
Even
creature
if
is. Like,
it's just a man in a suit.
yeah, but there's still like that, what is that thing? There's still
Hmm.
that's true terror right there. Is you have no idea what this is. It's truly alien.
Is capable of, yeah.
Exactly. And that's why the movie is so good, is because it really sells this this creature being being alien. It truly deserves its name. It's truly alien. And yeah, I really liked it
There's a
at
lot
first.
more to see now that you've watched these two.
Yeah, I know that there's a bunch of
Again, I wouldn't recommend watching. You could watch three, but I for sure do not recommend watching
four.
Alien Resurrection, because it adds nothing to the story.
Yeah.
It's just a
There's a
cash
point.
grab,
Yeah,
I would say.
there's a point in a franchise's life where it
You
can
should
no
just
longer,
stop.
yeah, it can no longer satisfy the demand and add anything new to the story because you've run out of material and you're just making stuff up. And even if you make stuff up, it's just it doesn't work.
Sometimes it's good, but most of the times it really doesn't pay off. You should know when to
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, exactly. That's it. A
That's true for all
franchise,
media. That's true
yeah,
for all media.
yeah, franchise has a specific lifetime, and it can't really. If you're trying to expand it beyond that lifetime, you're just putting the franchise on life support, and it just doesn't do any
Well,
good.
as long as people pay for it, you know. For example, I think that there should never have been 8 or 9 or whatever it is movies on Fast and Furious.
Me neither.
I just think
Like, yeah, why?
just
Why so
stop,
many?
man. It's time to stop.
Yeah, they're because like, but that's the thing. Like, this is how capitalism works. Capitalism just the thing it hates the most and the thing that is most scared of is risking anything. And so it just when it finds something that works, it just keeps doing that over and over again because it's safe. It's safer to do it. I kind of wish that there were more movies that did the same thing that well not the same thing but that um, did something as unique as Alien did. Um, but then again, there might be. I just don't know them because to be honest, I don't really watch a lot of movies.
That's also true.
So there might be something that that slipped under my radar, and I just didn't see. But
Now imagine for how long didn't tell the actors what the fuck was going to happen.
really,
They just did, yeah.
what the hell? That's interesting.
And yeah, that's I guess what made it so successful.
That's interesting. I really
The
like.
reactions are real.
Nice. I really like when movies do that. When they like don't they purposely keep
When the actors
things.
get fucked with, yes.
Yeah, they
Isn't that
purposely
something?
to get the a very genuine reaction. They purposely hide things from the actors. That's very it's a very good strategy of filmmaking, I think.
Depends.
When it works, it works.
There have been some instances in movies where it didn't turn out so fine.
Uh, can you give me an example?
Rape scenes, for example.
What?
There was this one movie, I can't remember which one it was, that involved a rape scene, and I think that they never tell the actress involved that this was going to happen.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
that's
It's good to get a good reaction, yes, but there's a limit.
okay then. Yeah, sure. That's not a very good way to use that.
Use common sense, people.
Yeah.
That's all we want.
Not to mention that if you are paying an actor to do a thing, and you know that they're good, you probably don't need to get a genuine reaction because probably their acted reaction is good enough. Unless you don't think that it is good enough, and in which case then if you really want a genuine reaction, then I guess you could do that.
Sometimes movie makers also don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I remember this instance where, in the shooting of Return of the King or the Two Towers, I don't know, The Lord of the Rings, doesn't really matter. They were all shot at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this scene where Grima the Wormtongue backstabs Saruman, and Peter Jackson wanted to have Christopher Lee act in some way, and Mr. Lee, Sir Lee, approached Peter Jackson told him, "This makes no sense. You know, do you have any idea what sound does a person make when they're stabbed in the back, in the lung? They make no sound because they're all the air is escaping their lungs,
Well, that's
so they just gasp."
kind of true.
Yeah, and he knows this because he's been to war. He's seen people being stabbed.
I mean, you still have the other lung though.
Still, so all you can muster is like,
Yeah, it's like a. I imagine it's just
not a scream like
no,
at the
it's
top
not a
of your
scream.
lungs.
It's not a scream. That's not realistic. No. But yeah,
So yeah, I'm glad that some people have some idea of what they're doing. Some actors, you know.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think one big problem of most movies is that things are just overplayed. I mean, they're just like you don't need a lot to make someone truly believe in one scene. I remember there's this rule in because I took an acting class. I'm still like I'm still taking classes. Like I will take one this month actually. But in acting class they actually had a rule which was less is more. Basically, if you're acting something out, the less like you try to act it,
The better.
the more
Yeah.
convincing it becomes because
There's this thing called overacting.
exactly, and humans in real life, they're not thinking like they're most of the time unless in very specific situations they're not gonna have like very exaggerated behavior. They're always gonna have like very unless unless it's
The
pain or
character is written to be a stereotype, for example.
yeah, that is true, but that's not a good thing. Like
But
you just want unless it's like a comedy movie or something. But if it's like a serious movie, you don't want very overplayed things
no,
and that yeah and acting that's very important to note and I think most actors they're not really into like they don't really understand that at least the ones that I don't know. There's some.
well, in theater is a bit more important, I would say, than in movies, because you always have the next take. In theater, you have next night.
Yeah, in theater you can't. You have to do everything perfectly from the go. So
Not perfectly,
well, you
but
don't have to do perfectly, but you have to do a good show every single time.
yeah, you have to put
Yeah,
up a show.
yeah, and yeah, with theater, I guess you have less less I guess what do you say? Less pressure because you have multiple takes. Um,
Or
but I
you should
guess
have anyway.
you should have. But I guess that's a problem in the sense that the actors feel less when you feel less tension, you also I guess do a worse job. So yeah, if you have multiple takes, that doesn't mean that any of those takes is going to be perfect or even close to that.
Some actors do try to make everything in one take.
Yeah, and there are movies that you kind of have to do. There are some movies that really try to reduce the amount of takes, or not the amount of takes, but the amount of cuts.
Yeah, the amount of cuts and that takes work for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess Birdman was a good example because Birdman is like I didn't watch the movie, but I know that the movie is supposedly
Oh my god, you are missing out. Birdman is one amazing movie, and it's even more perfect because of the actor who plays Birdman. I'll give you a backstory. I mean, you should know anyway. Continue.
but yeah, I know people say that the movie claims that it's all shot in one take, even though that's not really true because it actually is multiple takes, but they're blended together so perfectly that it looks like it's just one continuous take the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's super interesting.
it supposedly makes you very immersed because it feels like you're actually like standing next and following
Mm-hmm.
this character, you know. Um, and even though it's multiple takes, I feel like each of those takes is very long, because basically every scene is one take, you could say.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there's not even scenes per se. Again, I didn't watch it, so I can really know for sure, but I don't think it has like very specific boundaries, like scenes and
No,
shots.
everything is very, very seamless.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like the new God of War game. Oh, well, yeah. Which also uses that same technique. It's actually very interesting because it's a I played part of that game. I didn't finish it, but I really liked that game because
God of War?
yeah, the 2016, wait,
Yeah, the new one.
2018. People called Minecraft to be the I remember like in the original, like when Minecraft was still like a very much a niche thing, people called it a horror game based in Lego, which is kind of funny.
Well, it
Uh,
was a survival thing, so I get it. I guess I understand.
yeah. And now there is Lego based on Minecraft, and there's
Uh-huh.
Minecraft mods based on Lego, and
So they're not really. What you're trying to say is that they're not really killing each other.
they are yeah, they're trying to cooperate, I guess. And actually, what's very interesting is that Lego is a company that is extremely like it just does everything. Like
They
so
have
many
video games now.
you have so many Lego video games, and some are even better than the because they're all parodies. Some are even better than the movies they're parodying from. And you have Lego Movie
The infamous pod racing scene in
in Phantom
the
Menace,
actual Lego movie. The Lego game
the Lego
for
game
the Phantom
Phantom
Menace.
Menace.
Yeah,
I can't. I didn't play
shit
that
was
one,
awful.
but yeah. Um,
It was really bad, man.
you
If you
mean
died, you had to start from the beginning.
okay? Yeah, that
And it was like
sucks.
3 laps, and it was just pure chaos.
I don't know, but yeah, Lego for some reason does a bunch of video games from basically everything. And then they made the Lego Movie, and then they made Lego based on the Lego Movie, and
Now they have Lego Dimensions, which is like
I think it's kind of an old
you
thing
have to
though.
need to have. It's like Skylanders.
Skylanders.
It's also inspired in Spyro. It's you have to have the physical pieces to play in the game.
Oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So they now have Lego Dimensions, which is the same thing. You need to buy the little pieces
Yeah,
and put them in
it's
the
actually kind of
pods.
it's actually kind of a genius way to sell
Yeah, but it
more
didn't sell
merchandise. Except it's
because
kind of yeah,
you have Disney Infinity, and you can't compete with that.
that's true. That's true.
You just
Uh,
can't
let's
when it
hope
comes to selling merchandise.
that that Lego's not bought by Disney. Now that
I wouldn't be surprised though.
now
I
that I
mean,
said that, it's probably bound to happen, isn't it?
uh,
I don't know. Everything.
Lego is I'm not going to say that they're like going bankrupt, but they have been better.
Yeah, they have been better, definitely. But this is just
When kids didn't care much for computers and they still played with things.
yeah, yeah, they were much better back then. That's true. And that's why they started making video games because it was a way
Yeah,
easier way to.
Legoland is still a thing, right?
I think
Never went
so.
there.
Maybe I don't know. But yeah, this is all just ways to delay the inevitable Disney apocalypse, though. Like it's just
We're going to be called Planet Disney,
eventually.
and we are going to be just a fucking
Yeah,
roller coaster planet for
yeah,
aliens.
dude. Someone needs to make a horror movie about this. Like someone needs to
A
Disney.
dystopian movie when
Yeah, Disney.
entertainment company rules the world.
Disney owns everything. Oh wait, that movie already exists. It's called Wall-E.
Disney's making us fat so they can rule the world.
Yes.